So they were not allowed to buy property, to own property. Our family, husband's family, Misao, I don't know, somebody named Misao Tsukumaki, she was old enough, so they bought property in 1936 in Kent when Bowens took over, was it South Park? They used to farm there, but then they were able to buy property because she was old enough, and she was a citizen of the United States. And so some bought it that way.
And those who own their property, if they had friends and neighbors who were able to and willing to pay for the taxes and things like that, they were very fortunate. There were some that did in fact own their property, their farms or ranches, but if they weren't able to keep up with the taxes, then it went into foreclosure and again they lost it. So good question. There was somebody else who had a question. Yes, Suzette.
I'm interested, Amy and Lillian, about today and a sense of discrimination that you may experience today. Is it truly in the past for Japanese Americans? What?
Well, it's not just us personally, but I mean, it's just, some people think it's funny. And I mean, it is not funny, you know, racism, but then I just ignore it. But it's kind of odd because when they asked me at the Soroptimist Club, they asked me, how come you're not bitter? And I said, well, what's the point? I mean, I could say, well, poor me. I mean, I lost 4 years of my life. But like Norminetta said, we get the apology. And what other country? And I've told the kids at Kentwood when I spoke to them, I said, don't just stay home and feel poor me. I said, there's a whole world out there. And I mean, life is not fair. And you might as well learn it early. It's not fair. So you just make the best of what you can. And you know, it was really an eye-opener because the kids, they couldn't believe that I wouldn't be bitter. But I mean, there's no point in it.
So there's a lesson there, number one, that, you know, you can't sit back and have your own personal little pity party, you know, and blame the circumstances for what you decide to do with your life. But then there's the other lesson to make sure that something like this never happens again to another group of people. And I think that's the legacy of Lilly and Amy sharing, as well as David Ono putting together the film, because there's a lot of people right here in Kent who had no idea that this happened to their friends and neighbors. You know, it was, I don't know, I guess they thought it was a California thing, I don't know. But, you know, they didn't realize that we're talking the entire West Coast. And they were not put in nice places and given job opportunities and ways to earn a living. That was not it. But thank you, very good for your question. Anybody else? Yes.
So just more of a comment on what you were saying, you know, racism still being there, and not necessarily for you know, Japanese Americans, but in my experience, when 9/11 happened, I was a truck driver, and a lot of, large percent of the truck driving community was Middle Eastern. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people who talked about, oh, we should round them up, send them all back home, and all that. So seeing this film and seeing that, you know, the way that I was very afraid that the government was going to do that, or that the people that were doing that. And so I'm thankful that people were able to look back and learn from that mistake. So I just want to make that.
Well, thank you. Because that, you know, a lot of our younger, the next generation, they didn't know about this, and they said, well, how come you never talk about it? Well, we were embarrassed. I mean, we were second-class citizens, and so we didn't want to talk about it. And so it took many, many years, and it was a third generation. I remember when they started up in the JCL in Seattle, and I thought, you know, they came and asked for donation. I thought, well, yeah, I will because of the effort, but I thought it was a lost cause. And they wanted redress. And I thought, well, you know, it's crass to ask for money. I mean, that's our culture. But then in the long run, if you don't get money, then you don't get compensation. I mean, you have to, that's the American way. It means money. If you don't get the money, that means you're not free. I mean, you don't, nobody. And so that's kind of, that's what started the road.
That money, I wish our parents were still alive to get it.
It was only those that were alive when the money was passed out.
Yes.
question.
Yes.
When my son was in junior high school in Kent,
Mhm.
and they had a cultural fair.
Mhm.
And so we had some things, Japanese things to display. And I also had him bring this book that, you know, the executive order.
Mhm.
And his teacher did not know about Kent. She's from Texas.
Yes. Well, and that's why it's so important for those of you right here to be sure and